Well, friends, we've made it to the end. Zamasu and Goku Black have been defeated. I just watched episode 67 of Dragon Ball Super and I'm still kinda, well, my mind is blown. My tears are still drying. My adrenaline is still pounding. Whew. So, as you know, I am my Super Saiyan God, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this saga as a whole with you, starting with this episode of Dragon Ball Super in specific, then discussing the story arc overall. Whew, calming down. Okay. We had Zamasu in the sky with diamonds. That was a Beatles reference. But yeah, in the great tradition of villains coming back for just a little more, we had that freaky scene. And from the title of the episode, I must admit, for half a second, I was afraid that when the Zamasu sky thing hit Trunks with the red beam attack, that he was gonna die. Imagine Vegeta's reaction to that. Just great! Every time my son comes to visit from the future, he gets killed right in front of me! Goku hug-attacking Omni King or Zeno-sama or whatever when he didn't remember him cracked me up. That's a risky move. And things got tense after that. Getting to see him in action and the narrow escape with the time machine. How cool is it, by the way, that practically every major prediction for the end of this arc came true? We had Trunks win, Vegeta and Goku fused, and Omni King came in to finish him off. And Goku kept his promise to Omni King in the most roundabout way. Love it! Another random bit I liked is an old school fan who was watching DBZ before the original Future Trunks saga was brought to the USA, is when Beerus called Future Trunks Mirai. I still think of that character as Mirai Trunks from that era, as that name for him was pretty ubiquitous on the web at the time. Well, finally, Vegeta and Trunks' moment before Trunks left was beautiful. And Trunks and Gohan's moment, I literally cried right in the feels. Wow. Such emotion from them both. I could do a whole video on those two's complex history. But to keep it brief, let's just say it was a beautiful bit of closure for them both. So how did it compare to the Android Saga, or Cell Saga, or however you want to divide it up from Dragon Ball Z? Disclaimer here, I haven't seen the anime version of Season 4 in over 10 years, so I'll be basing this heavily on the manga, which I own and thus have more recently read. So the original Future Trunks saga began on such an incredibly tense, powerful note. And everything from Trunks' arrival, to Goku's illness, to the surprise appearance of Dr. Gero in Android 19, through the devastation of Android 17 and 18, and well, it was a really exciting story arc. We have my second favorite fight in the entire series, that being Piccolo versus Android 17. Great fight. And great emotional moments courtesy of Krillin's dilemma on Android 18. By the time we reach the Cell games, things get less intense. I love Perfect Cell as a character, but I've always felt like having him throw a tournament was an example of Akira Toriyama being a little low on ideas. Somehow, excluding the final portion of Gohan's fight with Perfect Cell, it just seemed to lack the emotional weight of much of Dragon Ball Z. That said, Goku's sacrifice and the father-son Kamehameha are two of DBZ's best, most epic moments. But what about the Goku Black saga and Dragon Ball Super? As shocking as Trunks' easy defeat of Cyborg Frieza was, it was nothing compared to the emotional sucker punch of seeing future Bulma die at the start of the story arc. I mean, Bulma. Bulma. One of the most important major characters, arguably Goku's best friend, and we see her die at the hands of what is revealed to be a Goku imposter. If you weren't clutching your chest and shouting, "No!" when that happened, You aren't a true Dragon Ball fan, just saying. I feel like the saga really hit the ground running there and didn't slow down for quite some time. The excitement built as we slowly learned more about the situation and struggled to learn Goku Black's identity and connection to Zamasu. We watched Zamasu fall from a deity in training with some questions about morality to a merciless mortal murderer! Well, and deity murderer, but that doesn't all start with the same letter. I'll stop now. Anyway, things stayed strong as the Z Fighters found ways to get back and forth in time, even as the time machine was repeatedly menaced, and there were several incredible battles. For the most part, the humor was on point too, with great comic relief from a lot of the secondary characters. I still lose it when I think about Piccolo's excitement to teach Goku the Mafuba and how he was left hanging. And future Yajirobe was the highlight of every scene he was in. Love him. That reminds me, one of the things I loved about the Buu Saga, which is still my overall favorite in all of the Dragon Ball universe, is how it had so many great little throwbacks to earlier in the series, and I loved that the Goku Black Saga did the same thing. We had the Mafuba return, and seemingly forgotten characters like Yajirobe and future Trunks got another chance to shine. Heck, we even got cameos from Piccolo's extended family and Android 8. That's some serious Dragon Ball throwback action going on there. We can even compare Gohan's angst at having allowed Cell to live long enough that Goku had to step in and lost his life to the now adult Gohan's quiet sorrow when he realizes the reason future Trunks was in his timeline. Both heartbreaking. Well, there were some misses, like when things totally lost their rhythm in episode 65, which I made a video about. You should watch it and leave your angry, disagreeing comments. I love them. That wasn't sarcastic, seriously. It's a great discussion. Anyway, well, there were a few times when things failed to hold up. I'd say overall, not only is the Goku Black Saga superior to the more disjointed Android or Perfect Cell sagas, I'd say it's up there with any of the classic Dragon Ball Z story arcs in terms of overall quality. I know I'm gonna watch it again and again. So, what do you think? If you agree that Dragon Ball Super has really upped its game with the Goku Black story arc, hit the thumbs up. If you think Black and Zama should lose in a fight with Perfect Cell, hit the thumbs down. And make sure to subscribe because I have a lot more to say about this subject, like Trunks' emotional development between the two arcs, and my overall opinions of Goku Black and Zamasu villains. Thanks for watching and have a super day!